Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, yeah, because Skype won't interrupt us.
No, they won't. And that's the beauty of it. And we are now live. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing well.
Okay. For all the listeners, yeah, we're now on Skype. Because Anchor, I swear, is being freaking difficult. So, okay, let's just start this hot and let's get into it. Break down the difference. We're gonna start right there. Break down the difference between professional and lifestyle dom, and we'll go from there.
Don't you want to do your sponsor ad first?
Oh no, we can do that after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the difference between a professional dominatrix and a lifestyle dominatrix, mainly the monetary exchange. A lifestyle dominatrix just means that you're dominant in your sexual life, your personal life. Whereas a professional means that you've had some sort of education or training, and you provide sessions or a safe space for individuals to play out their interests and kinks that maybe they know they're into, want to find out if they're into, so on and so forth. And there is an expectation of monetary compensation in the form of tributes. And we use the word tribute because if you call it a payment, it's considered prostitution or escorting, and it's illegal in most states in the United States. So it's like
which is crazy because in a lot of your sessions you're not having sex. You know what I'm saying? And
sex in any of my sessions.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, because that what I find interesting is that they try to keep that in the guise of escorting, and they're not the same. You know, more is based off of lifestyle, you know, and what have you.
In general, I feel like is separate but equal, you know?
Yeah.
We're all kind of under the blanket of being, you know, sex workers, but at the end of the day, what the type of work we do is not the same.
Yeah.
And you kind of turn us into like a monolith by doing that, and we're not. Every different. I look at it like a family tree, and everybody's got their own branch, right? And everyone's got their part to play, an equal, an important part at that. But we're not the same, you know. And I don't think that any of it should be illegal, to be perfectly honest. A lot of people don't know this, but you know, in there's only 2 states that distinguish the difference between porn and prostitution, and that would be California and New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, now that's some shit.
But it's because they distinguish the difference. Now, porn is legal, whereas prostitution is not, which is the run-on joke of the century, is if you click the camera on, you're fine. But in states such as Texas, there was actually an incident not very recently, but last year, where a model was, you know, sexually assaulted on set, and when she went to the police, the Texas police are like, "Oh, well, prostitution's illegal, so she shouldn't have been doing that." So they don't see the difference between camera on, camera off, because their laws don't distinguish the difference between the two. And personally, I think that Texas just hates women in general.
You know, Texas is a red state, so you can imagine, hell, they want to get rid of fucking abortions. So what that tell you?
And you're only allowed to have 9 dildos on your person at a time. What if I wanted to like have 10 of them for my like little battering belt full of like dicks? And I'm like, what? You can have as many guns as you want, but not You
and
mimic
many dildos.
people. I think all the women in Texas should just stop putting out for like a month and see what happens to those laws. Just
Oh,
like
they
stop
would drop.
anyone, like anyone, just not your husband, not your boyfriend, not your brother, whatever, whoever you're checking up with. Just knock it off. Just withhold the pussy and like see what happens and see if those laws don't change because clearly Texas does not like women in general. So
Oh no, I can tell you that now. Cause I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I looked up the law here in North Carolina. Now I'm gonna tell you how funny it is. It's only prostitution if you pay the girl. So content trade porn is very fucking legal in North Carolina. But if I pay you,
I'm
it's illegal.
Florida and like we're just kind of like a happy-go-lucky state. We're a swing state. So they did participate in the stings after the stock market crash of 2008 all the way up, I would say, until 2015. It's still relatively dangerous to do stuff out of hotels. But now, like I've talked to several officers. I tell them what I do. I hand them my business card. They don't give a shit.
No.
We're like the glory hole of America. Like nobody cares.
Yeah. Yeah, because like but you see, like just like Manhattan last year, towards the end of last year, they made it to where you can't prosecute prostitutes anymore. And I think that we're starting to move to where, which is part of the advantage, the gift and the curse, which I always say, of normalizing of sex, porn, and all that shit, to where it's becoming
Women.
normal.
This form of currency is women.
Yeah,
Think about
yeah.
it. When you went and fucking bitch slapped another country and took over that country, what was the spoil of war? You
The
got,
women.
yeah, women. Exactly. And it's been that way since the dawn of time. Even here in America, you used to be able to absolve debt by marrying your daughter off in
Mm-hmm.
the house. Like, I don't understand why something that is so old and so traditional is so frowned upon. Like, okay, y'all went and took what you wanted,
Mm-hmm.
know, in the past, but now all of a sudden, if we want to make our own price tags, it's a problem. So I salute the girls who do it. I think it's phenomenal. Keep fighting the good fight. And as a
Amen.
professional matrix, I'm kind of lumped in under the same risks too, because
Mm-hmm.
same thing. You're vetting clients, you're meeting essentially strangers off the internet. And before the internet was huge, like, back in the Craigslist days, oh my God. I wish I still had access to that email account, some of the things I'd get in there.
Oh my God, I can freaking imagine that. I used to tell girls, man, if they did a podcast about hotels, oh my God, that shit. Because some of the tales that you have about with clients and stuff, and some of the shit you had to deal with is sometimes mind blowing. Because even with me being in the industry and many of the girls I work with, they actually did escort, and I used to hear the shit they used to deal with, and even to when guys steal money. Like literally, they about to walk out the door. He just grabbed the cash and just runs out the fucking door out of this piece. And it's kind of like, to me, that's fucked up in every which way, because you came for this to
Well,
get a service.
yeah, well, to me, that's rape because you
Yeah.
agreed on a monetary exchange for sex, and if you take away that monetary exchange, then you just took sex without consent. So, that's
Amen.
that's kind of that's pretty much rape to me. I don't have those issues. I have an extremely good vetting process that I've had for a long time. I can recognize word patterns. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I can tell just from the first couple emails if somebody's serious, if they're dangerous, things like that. I had one guy who I did end up rejecting because and I reported him as a dangerous person on one of the listing websites that I use for sessions. So, because anyone who's weird about a deposit, I would question.
Of course.
I don't know if it's changed, but I know when I first started, taking deposits was a way to scan for cops because cops will never send you money because at that point they're actually soliciting service. Like you can't
And
have
then too, also a lot of your sessions are long, so it's not like I said, I was dealing with escorts when there was no time, where it was just a service. You come, you pay. Once you finish, get the hell up out of there, and you paid well. Period. Then of course, I saw when girls started breaking it down to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. You know what I'm saying? Even with, but I noticed with DOMs, they never put time limits. It was straight up session. I remember when me and my wife were staying in the hotel, there was a DOM that was staying nearby us. And she had dudes coming in. And I remember one time I just so happened to walk past a window and I saw all, you know, the paddles and stuff like that. I said, oh, so she's a dom, you know, period. And to me, I think they pose to pay a deposit for a female dom. They pose to pay a deposit for a dom, especially if it's BDSM. Because that session might be an hour, it might be 2. You feel what I'm saying? Which makes sense because you pay the deposit to cover yourself just in case, you know what I'm saying, to cover yourself just in case if you miss calls or you miss other clients, you made up for that, you know, period. And also with the deposit to secure his spot, you know, period. So now they use deposits in porn. I digress.
My sessions like that. They're always by the hour. It's an hour minimum, and then you can do half-hour increments from there. But I'm not a super time Nazi, so I'm not gonna sit there and book an hour and 15-minute session. Like that's stupid to me. Like increase by a half hour, you have in the half-hour increments after 1 hour. But usually clients book between 1 to 2 hours. The longest booking I've had is a 7-hour booking. I don't do overnights. I know some DOMs do. I don't. That freaks me out. I don't want to be like sleeping in a room with the same fucking like with some guy I met on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm totally understand. Oh, I'm sorry. I got to do the particulars. We didn't get into this. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Smokers Lounge. Of course, now on Skype, but of course, it's on Anchor. You know what I'm saying? You can find it on Anchor, but we're recording on Skype today. Anchor, the perfect app for anyone who's trying to start their own podcast career. All you got to do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get yourself a profile. I am your host, Kavanaugh the Southern Champ, a.k.a. the Porn Rap Star. Find my porn links, my music links, my social media links, and podcast links, all with one links. allmylinks.com/porn rap star. I got to tell you about 3 wonderful sponsors that we have. Again, I had to put that in there again. First up being the Facebook of the LS community, lsworld.com. Next up is one of the hottest new magazines out on the market, Eroticism Magazine. Go to eroticismmagazine.com. Get yourself a subscription. Every 30 days, they drop a new magazine. Get it digital or get it paperback. Also, last but not least, excitebunny.com, a new site for you horny fuckers to check out. And for you content creators, another great site for you to put your stuff on because you get 90% profit. Plus, they offer healthcare as well as legal aid and legal advice for anything that you're dealing with. So go to excitebunny.com, the new and the future of porn. Also, check me out on SkyhawkAfterDarkTV.com. Check out my page where you can listen to podcasts or check me out on the radio station. Now I'm about to shut up and let this sexy lady reintroduce herself.
Hello, I am Milah Romanov. I am a professional dominatrix who has been in practice for 10 years now.
So how did you get into the life of dominatrix? What brought you to it?
This is a fun story to tell. I realized at a young age that I wasn't acting normal for a girl my age or women in general. When I entered into middle school, the first thing I decided to do, and I don't know why, was challenge all the boys. Started with 6th grade, then 7th, then went up to 8th. And it would be things like flag football, which I would turn into tackle football, arm wrestling, like who could pick who up.
I knew you was a tomboy. Tomboys always turn out to be the sexiest women. But go ahead.
I wasn't quite a tomboy. It was just I wanted to establish dominance over the boys in my school. And I had the mentality that I'd rather be feared than loved. So, like, you get along. I can't run for shit. But it was a very weird thing. And I was like, I sat back at a certain point. I'm like, why am I doing this? And that was actually when I started researching femdom was I let kids don't do this, but I lied about my age to get into fetish forums and websites and stuff, and it took off from there, and then I started kind of experimenting a little bit with the people in my surroundings. What could I get away with? How far could I push them? How to get them like addicted to wanting things from me in exchange for other things. Like I started pocketing my own lunch money because I had so many of them buying stuff for me off the a la carte and like doing stuff in my books. Like and it was easier. I found it was easier not to do it with macho guys. It was more like the little nerdy kids that nobody paid attention to. And guys that were like the other popular girls or whatever, they laugh at them in the hallways, do all that dumb kid shit. But so getting the slightest bit of attention from a female, like it turned them into little puppies. And I picked it back up again when I was 20. I met this man in Tampa, and she kind of took me under her wing, and she showed me how to how to find them, how to make them do, how to you know, keep them hooked, and back then, and this is 10 years ago, back then the rate was 300 an hour for a dom. But if you had a penny with you, it was only an extra 150. And of that, your trainer would take $50. So to me, at 20 years old, having worked very basic jobs at this point in my life, $100 an hour as like a side was great. It was great money to me. Now I wouldn't, you couldn't get me to leave my couch for that. But back then it was a lot of money, and that's kind of how I started off. She was the one that taught me how to read the emails and read between the lines of what people are saying and really understand like male psychology and the social psychology that went into this. And that's why it's like super important that if you're going to be a professional dom or claim to be so, you need to have that kind of understanding.
Yeah, because I think a lot of girls now just call themselves doms, but they don't never get the training. And
Well, you
two,
can
they
be a
really
fetish without training. You just can't be a professional dom. You can be
yeah.
whatever you want to be on the internet. You can
Mm.
start acting. You're an actor. You're acting as a fetish.
But see,
But
to me, I think that, but it's just my opinion, is that when you have a lot of people, they say claiming to be doms, because even on the male side of things, it muddies up the waters, period. Because one,
it's like that in porn too, like
yeah,
oversaturation is oversaturation.
yeah, as it happened, also it cheapens the product because then you have those doms. What, like I said, because you even have a slave or a submissive that would sit there, because I never heard her say it to a dom, and an actual factual dom. We ain't talking about she's claiming it. Well, I paid this with this one. She looked at him and told him to get the fuck out of the room. You feel me? But, what you about to say?
Like if she's a new dom and she's charging $300 an hour, it's because she's new, and that's what she's determined her brand is worth.
Mm-hmm.
I've always branded
And
myself
some
as
of you girls only charge 3. Some of you girls be charging like less than that. Straight up.
well. I want to hit them right in the face, but your price is going to attract certain levels of people too. Mine,
True.
I feel like medium. It's not the highest, it's not the lowest, and mine varies based on what you want from me
Mm-hmm.
too. So if you want
Mm-hmm.
face sitting session, it's going to be one price. You want pegging, that's too close to escorting. You're going to get escorting prices. You want
Mm-hmm.
something super, you're going to you pay thousands of dollars for that,
Mm-hmm.
for just an hour, and you're probably not going to even last the whole hour. So it really depends on the dom and how she brands herself, just like any business. Like, are you Payless or are you Louis Vuitton? I've always considered myself what I consider like an affordable luxury brand. My prices aren't so high that you can't save up for them for the experience.
Yeah.
You know,
And see, and two, also the way that you market yourself. Because you take professional pictures, you look professional. even from the outfits that I see you wear on your Twitter post, period. It's like I call you a pretty girl dom.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying? Because you're not with the level and straps for what I've seen per se. Even though you might do that, but just the way you carry yourself, it's
Aesthetic, but
like,
dominance is more about personality, and you can either fake it till you make it, or you can be naturally dominant. What you wear isn't going to really change that. I personally cannot stand wearing latex. It's so sweaty. I don't want to. So I'm not going to, because I'm the dom. Why should I have to conform to anything? And, the clients that I see, they're not wanting latex anyways. They want bodysuits. So
mhm,
that's why you can see me doing more costumes and bodysuits. And, I deal with a lot of guys that are into video games and anime and stuff. So I do like cosplay sessions, like where I'm like dressed up as their favorite anime character, abusing them and, torturing them and teasing them. You know,
mhm,
uh, I did a Skype show once where I did some really, really quick, like Harlequin type makeup, and I played
mhm,
like, and I did like a role play session where like I was like a psycho, uh,
mhm,
like I got off to like killing people, like secret agent girl, right? So
mhm,
it can be simple, what I call vanilla kinks like that, where it's just like role play. Role play in
mhm,
itself is a kink. Being a dom in itself is role play.
yeah.
So when I turn that camera off or when I walk out that session, I go home and I'm just me. I'm not going home and I have like a kitchen servant that I keep in a dog cage. Like they, you want to project that. Really
I like you. You my kind of female dom.
okay, well, necessary emotions go throw them in the trash can though. Don't like me too much.
Oh my God. But see, the thing is, it like all doms, we do have a strong personality
Yeah,
and a dominant personality, period. So it might rub people the wrong way and tough because that's who we are,
oh yeah,
period.
I received all kinds of ways. And while giving a model a compliment one time, she admitted to me later that I was intimidating. Like when I came up to her, she said
Yeah.
that she was intimidated by me. And I'm like, why? I literally came up and gave you compliments. She's like, I know, it's just something. And I'm like, oh shit. I wasn't trying to be, I was trying to be nice.
Mhm.
Apparently this I'm not very good
See,
at it. I've been told by
it's
a
your
lot of
energy.
people that
See, let me say this. I'm a big proponent of energy, tantra, and all that. You give big energy. I can feel it off your pictures. You feel me? Like when you told me you was even when I saw your profile and I saw you was a dom, I said I can see it because the way for even with your pictures, it's like people don't realize you can give energy off from pictures as well as videos.
right.
And for me, I felt that dominant energy. You feel what I'm coming from? So, and to me, not only that, I could tell that you woman about your shit. You ain't one of these girls that's claiming it. No, you're living it. You get what I'm coming from? Period. So to me, how tall are you?
Well, I'm 5'4".
Okay.
I'm
She a
actually
short dog. She a short drill sergeant. so
It's I like
so
being a shorter female though, because then, like in my personal life, I don't have to worry about like how tall a guy is because they're probably going to be taller than me.
yeah.
It's
And she
great.
because it's
Yeah,
funny you would think because the image that people get is a female dom is tall. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
People tell me they think that I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm like, I must be the legs. I don't know
It's
because
it's the legs. It's the
yeah,
legs and like how can I put this? Sometimes we might be short, but we cast a big shadow. Period. Because I talked to one girl, I thought she was all of like 5'7". She said, "No, I'm 5'3". I said, "Damn, I didn't realize you were that short because the way you take pictures, it don't come off that way." You feel what I'm saying? Because I see you know how to lengthen yourself as a model. You feel what I'm coming from?
right.
Um,
And most
I,
5'7", but with heels on, I'm 5'7", so maybe
mhm,
that's too. But that's again an advantage of being shorter. I have smaller size feet. I can wear heels and make myself taller if need be. Sometimes I cook in heels. It's just a whole other world up there.
Mm-hmm. She said she want to be tall.
I have a boosted seat when I drive.
Oh
I
my God.
I do. I got like butt pillow things,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it because I can see the road better.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. So, so, tell me about your first experience as a dom. Paint the picture.
My first experience as a dom was actually over the internet. This way before I met Dominus Riam. The um, it was a young guy, and he was from Colorado, and I would, dominate him through the internet. We actually met through this old app called Gaia Online.
Yeah, I know about that. I know about that.
Again, yeah, and his username is AIH. I still remember it to this
Mm-hmm.
day. Sometimes we would just talk, and I would pick his brain. And I didn't realize I was doing this at the time, but Dominus Rand taught me later on that to be a true dominant, you have to understand a submissive's mindset, deliver correctly. And so that's what I kind of did. It was almost like a lab rat situation where I was just kind of researching him. Did
Mm-hmm.
right? I gave him such a sense of serenity that he actually came out to me and he's like, I tell you something, I'm bisexual. And I'm like, oh, okay. What do you mean? Oh, okay. He's like, here where I live, they would hang me in the town square if they knew. They would burn me alive. And to me, living like Florida's always been pretty like open-minded state. I was just like, oh well, I don't know, no big deal here. Like I don't care about what you do in your own time. So that was really to be able to realize that fetish isn't just about the degrading, the humiliation, the
Yeah.
what you see on 50 Shades of Bullshit movies. It's
I hate the movies.
I hate those movies, man. First
I
of all,
can't
male
stand
moms don't exist, mythological creature. Start there.
them.
Just thinking about it. But it's not about what the media projects. It's not even about what you think going in. You are giving a kindness, like an ultimate kindness. You are giving liberty and peace of mind and a safe space to somebody who cannot find it anywhere else in the world. And to me, that's the biggest kindness. So one of the biggest misconceptions about DOMs is that we're mean. The best
Mm-hmm.
DOM, nicest people you'll ever meet. They're the people who will pick you up when you're stranded. They're the people who, will understand things from a perspective that other people can't, and be open-minded about who you are, and not only that, but accept who you are for who you are and not expect you to change. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kindness that this world has definitely forgotten. So I would
Yeah.
consider dogs essential workers, that being said.
Yeah, actually, we are. We provide a service that make people feel good,
Right.
mentally as well as physically.
And
Honestly.
I think I'm a part of this, generation that's figured out life's not about the 9 to 5. Life's about experiences. Life's about, at the end of the day, are you happy with who you are and what you've done that day?
Most definitely. Most definitely. So now, when did you move into doing content?
So that actually happened fairly recently, 5 years ago. I'd heard about clips for sale several years before
Yes.
I ever got online with it, and I
Mhm.
looked into it a little bit, but I love Neil, but that site looks like it's gonna give your computer a virus. Needs facelift. It does.
Yeah.
Um, so I looked at it, I brushed it off, and this girl at the time, her name was Ivy. She was a friend of mine, and she was like, "Yeah, you got to do this." She's like, "I started making clips, and I just do stuff with like my lips because she had like really big fat lip injection lips, and she's like, there's like a fetish for everything, and
Mhm.
at the time, and she's like, you have to do something. She's like, you need to be making money off your body somehow. Do something. So she like really encouraged me to look into it. Not long thereafter, was actually when I picked up doing sessions again because I was kind of on again, off again with it. Like I said, for a long time, it was not my main income. It was like something I did on the side occasionally. Great, great stress reliever for me at the time. So, but it was still too dangerous to be doing things on my own. Have anybody like I had lost contact with the dom who trained me. No, she was going through cancer at the time. I had no idea if she was even still alive. So I ended up using strip clubs to moonlight because it was safe. There was ample parking, there was security cameras, security guards, DJ, liquor, drugs, and private
Yeah.
rooms, and an ATM, like literally everything a client could need. They didn't even need to cash. They could just buy the room on their card. And because the room prices are style, a very small club, to do this, because of that, like their room prices were so low that I could charge my fee, and it was more than the 1 hour fee for the room. So it was great because the club didn't care. Club didn't care. I was, bringing in clients, and I was even the clients that they had, they would recognize that I was dominant, and they would, I had guys come up to me on stage and they'd be like, "Mistress, can I speak to you after you're done?" And then they would slide me a 20 or whatever. And it was fantastic. It was a fantastic arrangement until they switched owners. And through the clubs, I actually learned how to bartend, which was a life skill that I obtained. So it was kind of cool. It was like going to school and getting paid at the same time. For, and I learned a whole new type of hustle. And I've said this to like girls before, like you want to explore different avenues of sex work. You don't want to just, kind of like lock yourself into one thing or the other, because being a dancer is a whole different type of hustle.
Yeah.
And with people in person, my skill set well with dealing with, and too, because you got drunk horny men, like it's easy to figure out after that. And I made a lot of money during that time. I was able to upgrade my car, upgrade my living situation, and then I was but once the owners changed, I tried switching around and I couldn't really get settled. So then I was like, fuck it. All this money saved up. I'm going to invest in myself, invest in starting this adventure. I think I can do it. And so that's what I did. I made my first 5 clips, launched them on I Want Clips, and the rest is history. After that, I was getting my first sponsorship was to New York. And that was the first time I ever left the state on my own as an adult, was to go fly out for an underground wrestling match where there was like black market bids and stuff like that. And that was sketchy as fuck. I shouldn't have done that. But they paid for my.
Was you wrestling?
Yeah, I do wrestling fetish.
Oh my
That's
God.
actually
Hey.
what got me like on the map, was working with Grappling Girls.
Mhm.
They are located in Sarasota, Florida. So it was like a 2 hour drive for me to work with them. And when myself and the producer first linked, and he realized that I had stamina, because I have a history in martial arts and gymnastics and dance and stuff. So I already had the build up. Plus, I had just been working, in the club. So my leg strength was enormous and my core strength
Yeah,
was
because
great.
I'm pretty sure stripper wise, you made good money because you got the look and the body. And I'm pretty sure you could dance your
I'm
ass off.
there. Um, Me dealing with drunk, horny, slobby men is just not something I would go for. The older guys. The older guys that came into the club and bought a bottle of water, I knew them fuckers were there for a dance. They didn't want to, because I was always constantly in the back room. And it was great because I got to
Mhm.
meet a lot of really great women. I got to see that side of the industry. I got to see the ugly
Mhm.
side of the industry.
Mhm.
Because you know how it is. Like, if you're selling 1 hour rooms, these bitches are gonna be talking shit. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
want sucking dick?" Like, bitch, if I was sucking dick, it would take an hour,
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Um, and it was cool because I got to kind of teach a lot of the other girls how to like attract clients too. So I After a while, I had this system with the full service girls, where if I referred them a client, they tipped me $20, and I would charge the client $20 to refer them in the right direction. It was great. I was making $40 and doing nothing off of every transaction.
Yeah.
What, because they just sometimes they don't know, and these guys, they feel awkward, asking which girls do what. But
Yeah.
have a directory system, and it made things a lot easier. It made the club like run smoothly, because a strip club, you need um you need your fluffers, you need your midwives, those are your handy J girls, and then you need your full service girls. And because you're gonna have guys that come in there and they don't want full service, they're there for the
They might
tease
want
there.
some head or
Yeah,
jerk
there's,
off or just lap dance.
yeah, there's a lot of guys that genuinely, I had so many clients that would like just come right in their pants just from seeing me in private. Like, it was fucking hilarious. So that was like a great learning experience for me working in the clubs. But like I said, I got kind of tired of like the club BS. I was literally hired into a club because I was white, and then fired for not being a drug addict. It was,
She don't sniff coke. She gotta go.
well, what it was is the manager was stealing from the bartenders, and
Ah,
the owner wanted to, quote, white out the club to try and sell it, because
yeah,
it was the hood club.
yeah.
And they hired me in to kind of like, they thought, I don't know, they thought having a fat ass white girl would somehow attract white guys. That's not how that
Mm.
works.
No, they gonna
I
attract brothers.
understand, but because I was a good bartender, they were like, that was a busy club, and it was a two-sided bar. So like, really high paced, and I was able, once I figured out where all the liquor was sitting on the shelf, it was, my first shift, they did $2 tequilas, which was, well, tequila. Nobody wants to drink that garbage. So I was like, okay, our special is $2 tequila sunrises. The club's not going to miss that splash of orange juice and grenadine. They're not. And sour. There's a splash of sour in it too. So like, I did that. All of their tequila, and they were like, "Oh, you got a 86 it, like, we're out." And I was like, "I went through that much tequila?" They're like, "Yeah." They're like, "We've never seen." I was like, "Oh, well, you're welcome." They're like, "No, now we got to order more. It's a bad thing." And I'm like, "What?" So it was just very interesting. But yeah, so the guy that ran the office literally was sitting on money that he said was missing from my register. He was trying to say that I was like short like $250. I was like, there's no fucking way. I was like, roll back the cameras. I will sit here all night. I did. I sat there with him until 7 a.m. And then he finally got up, and I was like, why is there a pile of cash under your ass? But because I did, first of all, I didn't do drugs. I didn't smoke weed, none of that. So he couldn't play me. So, and I was off the schedule. Went to a different club. I outsold their lead bartender by $100 one night. Next thing you know, off the schedule. It was just
Yeah, it
doing my job
it's
correctly.
so political in them clubs, yo. Straight up, and
Doing my
even I know that as a
Right.
patron. So
So I got tired of it. I was like, fuck this shit. Fuck this industry. Like, I'm tired of it. I'm just straight tired of it. So I left, and I haven't gone back, you know.
yeah, you learn a valuable lesson. It's better to work for yourself than others.
Originally, the whole point of me going to the club was not to be a bartender. The point of me going to the club was to have a safe space to moonlight,
Mm,
um, as a dominatrix. It was never supposed to escalate the way it did, but I liked bartending. It was great. And
mm,
it was cool to see both sides of the bar, if you will, to see the
yeah.
dancer side and the bartender side. Again,
Mm,
you come to like this new understanding and new worldview. So it was very interesting. But after that, I was like, fuck it, I can't do this shit anymore. And and I was upset about it for a while. Like, I didn't do anything for like a couple months. I just did not work. But I always have money stacked up. I don't ever let my shit get to zero. But then when it got low, I was like, fuck, I need to do something. And a friend of mine from middle school actually got me a shoot with this horrible producer. But that was kind of like my segue, and it set off the beacon to everybody else. So when I first got into the industry, I was still kind of working for other people doing these fetish films. I started off with wrestling stuff and face sitting, and it grew from there. I was lucky and fortunate enough to work with who I didn't know at the time were kind of like big platforms, and I was able to use their platform and their fans to kind of develop my own.
Now, what I find interesting, like I said, you do fetish, you do wrestling, of course, BDSM. Whatever fetishes do you do for your content?
I actually specialize in something called breath play. I do a lot of smothering, a lot of face sitting, hand over mouth. Sometimes I'll do chest sitting. I do foot fetish. One that's I've gotten a lot of requests for recently is a role play for cannibalism, believe it or not. And I
Yeah, I've been hearing about that. I said, damn, cannibalism became a fetish now, but go ahead.
yeah, well, it's the idea that you're a sacrifice
Yeah.
and that it's an honor to be my sacrifice and to have me eat you. And of course, I'm not actually eating humans. It's all
Yeah.
role play, it's all pretend. Don't come after me, Mastercard. Um, so
I'm saying that's what they just taking the fun out the shit now. You can't post certain videos and hashtags and shit. It'd be like, damn,
it's
y'all becoming too PC.
by instead of forced by and all this other stuff. You can't do. I don't even know if you're allowed to do sleeping voyeurism anymore, but
I'm swear. I'm like,
like there's so much stuff that you can't do now, and it really just sucks. And then during the whole pandemic thing with George Floyd, a
yeah,
lot of the platforms, this wasn't MasterCard, this was the platforms took away race play. And I was like,
yeah,
y'all realize the majority of people who do race play are not white. You are taking money out of female Black pockets and female Asian
hmm
and female Latinas because, like, and why is that? Why is something that's consensual between two people being taken away because of something that happened to some guy none of us even know? Like, why?
thank you.
Why? You want to amplify? You want to do something? Do something, but don't take stuff away from something that affects everybody.
Yeah,
And
because to me, like some of my best videos is the rape play video I did with a girl that made money. The race play, um,
gold, it's liquid gold.
blasphemy. You know what I'm
Blasphemy.
saying?
I do a
Yeah,
lot of that.
yeah. So it's kind of to me, it's like,
I take
you know,
pages out on and I like wipe my ass with them and stuff. The guys go wild.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's they taking away what made that side of porn special.
It's
What made porn special. What made it special is the taboo.
yeah, well, interracial porn is still like one of the highest paid categories that
Yeah,
aside from gangbangs. So clearly there's still a demand for it, and porn was never supposed to be PC, just like fetish isn't supposed to be PC.
yeah.
Uh, so dominatrixes are technically supposed to be considered erotic entrepreneurs, because
hmm
there's fixes for shit like vacuum cleaners, dude. So like vacuum, I shit you not, there was this woman on YouTube who did vacuum reviews, and her reviews were getting millions of views, and she couldn't figure out why. It turns out that's a fetish. So
Yeah,
it's like, okay, well, just because somebody jerks off to it, does that make it porn? You know what I mean? Like I.
because people have fantasies. People because that's our job. We are we are the people that present the fantasy. We help
Oh,
make your fantasy come true.
I tell
Period.
my clients, don't worry, Disney World isn't the only place where dreams come true.
Amen.
Such and but it's there's this whole like war within our own community even. Because doing that to the fetish community was kind of a bullshit move. Island Clips did it, Manny Vids did it, and I was like, y'all are going to be on the wrong side of history, just so you know,
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
actually just hurt people that you were
Mhm,
claiming you want to protect. But there's this whole fucking hierarchy war shit and this whole,
mhm.
kind of like internal struggle, I feel like. And I'm like, yeah, I say there's no hierarchy. is,
Mm.
because even our own people that are supposed to represent us do not represent equally. And I'm fine being separate but equal. I'm fine being seen as all the same. I'm fine saying that I'm a dominatrix. I'm fine saying I'm a porn star. Those labels don't mean dick diddly shit to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Now,
when you
now, the question I want to ask
specifically,
you is,
I'm going to be upset about, you know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, now the question I want to ask you, because of course, when you do fetish, and now first caveat before I go into this question, I always said this: the only way you can get away with making money, have a long and strong career in this business, without doing boy girl, is if you're doing extreme fetish or you a webcam heavy. Okay, she's an extreme fetish. Which brings me to this question: how much pressure do you get from your fans for boy girl? And have you ever thought about dipping your toe into that world?
Um, so I don't have pressure from my fans for a lot of boy girl, because I can do PvP cuckold and still satiate their need for me to do cuckold porn.
Okay.
I very, very recently started bridging into uh, CNC milking, which is consensual, non-consensual milking. And that's
Mm-hmm.
because the male talent from the porn industry has actually been pressuring me. They want me to do boy girl. And sometimes it's just they're approaching me and I'm like, you realize, can you read? You're illiterate. Look at my bio. Like, I'm not somebody who does BG. Like, I clearly and distinctly a dominatrix. I do fetish.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these guys, they're like, alpha male personas who can't do the things that, I could do as a fetish with them. And I'm more than happy to meet them halfway and
Oh,
do something that can be perceived still as dominant for them,
like with a
or
lady like you, like with a
still a
lady like
kink.
you, I would do milking, I would do foot job. You know what I'm saying? To that level, if we ever did, if I'm retired now, but I'm talking about if we ever worked together, to that level, boy girl, because I worked with a girl that
Which
she
is
didn't do no boy girl sex. So we did face sitting, she did a milking with me, and we did a foot fetish where I sucked on her toes, worship her feet, oiled her feet, and then she jerked me off with her feet. Period. And I tell people those scenes actually sell just as good as a fuck scene.
right.
And I tell girls, make a point to implement fetish into your boy girl scenes and fetish into your repertoire. Just don't do nothing but boy girl. Have some scenes where it's just BJ. Have some scenes where it's just a titty fuck. Have some scenes where it's you jerking off. Hell,
Yes,
you can have a scene where you just give him a massage and that's it. And
right.
that'll sell.
I don't do any kind of like oral milking or any kind of fluid exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because in fetish, if you're touching genitalia as a dom, you're actually supposed to be wearing gloves. You're not supposed to
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a male talent in the industry, I don't feel like, that's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's good, all that. So I've started doing that, and it was a huge leap for me to even do that, because that's still kind of on the boy girl scale. And as a dom, I have to be very careful. You can go from boy girl to fetish, but you it's very difficult to go from fetish to boy girl. If I were ever to do BG, it probably wouldn't be on a grand scale. It'd probably be like how Crystal Lust is, where it's just no face, POV, doggy style. That's all I'm gonna do. And with uh, she's number 3 on Pornhub. Like, she's doing it right. Actually, when she came out in 2019, people thought I was her.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a bunch of emails and text messages, even like one from my ex, where he's like, "Did you start doing porn?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you on about?" Sent me a link, and I was like, "Oh shit, that does look like me." No, that's. I don't remember doing that. I don't think that's my account. I don't have a login for that name. So I know that if I did it, I could be successful at it, and that actually makes me
Oh, I
a
can
little
tell you that
bit.
off top of my dome without even seeing you do one boy girl scene. Your look and your body, money. That's why the male times breaking their neck to talk to you.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Because you find this shit. You're
okay,
fashionable. You
here's
you
my problem is that I'm not only a goddess in name on the internet. I have put my pussy up on such a high pedestal. believe my own bullshit, and I just think like guys are worthy. I don't like. I actually don't have a long sexual history with
Mm-hmm.
me because I don't feel like, and you guys make the dumbest faces when you're turned on and you just look stupid. And then most guys, like, even if I'm physically attracted to them, they open up their mouth and then I'm done. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm
Oh
very, very-
God, you sound like my mom. My mom said, "Look," she told me this. She said, "A woman know whether or not she gonna give you the pussy.
yeah,
It's your job not to say nothing stupid to fuck it up."
yeah.
We do it
You
every
know,
time.
even if I think a guy's cute or whatever, if I'm physically attracted to them, if they say some dumb shit to me, I'm just that's gonna turn me off. It needs like because I'll be able to tell by the way they speak to me if they're intelligent. And I'm a bit of a sapiosexual where I have to be intellectually stimulated before I'm physically stimulated. The heads have to match. And so I'm
That
like
is
very
so funny. Me and Sydney Screen had that exact same conversation.
I'm very dick picky. And what I mean by that is not only does your dick have to look nice and feel nice, but you have to have a head upstairs too that looks
Yeah,
nice and feels nice. You know what I mean? Like both your heads have to match. So if you're not intellectually stimulating me, then clitorally stimulating me. Like
yeah.
I'm not interested in like I'm sorry, but the male talent pool, what the fuck is going on right now? Because they're letting
You,
first of all, this
you want my honest opinion from being a male talent? There's a lot
what?
of lames in the business.
Oh my
There's a lot of lames in the business. The male
oh,
talents I came up with, they were cool, like Richard Mann, like Wesley Pipes, even with Mr. Marcus. It was a coolness about them and a swag. A lot of these male talents nowadays don't have that. But see, also a lot of these male talents are only fanboys.
I'm not
So
against the relatable dad bod guys. I'm really not. I'm sure they're great guys. But what happened to beautiful people being in porn? Because I kind of miss that. I'm
well, see,
speaking
wait.
of my own standards. I can see I can look at somebody who's, like thinner and, whatever. And be like, okay, I can see how that guy is attractive or how that girl is attractive. And then I can see somebody who's curvier or a husky build and be like, okay, I can see how that's attractive. But some of these guys, bleh,
Should not be doing
I
this.
feel it in my mouth knowing that women are having to fuck them. Like it grosses me out. I'm angry about it.
But
And
see,
it's just
that goes back to the normalization and the devaluation of porn and the porn star that has been going on for the past couple of years.
listen, it's if I was an agent, I would be the worst gatekeeper.
Good. But see, that way it was about, it was like, because even with the men, okay, you had to have a certain type of physique. Even if you wasn't muscular, a certain type of physique. Even if you was chubby, you couldn't be but so chubby. Period. Now, I'm not knocking none of my dad bodies, my fat boys like Vinny O'Neal and them. Do it,
Like,
baby. It makes me feel good. Because the the thought process, which is a lot of the men can't relate to these male talents because some of these male talents ain't real men. Because not every man gonna have a six pack. Not every man look like he gonna be in the gym and like he
right.
can go wrestle for the WWE.
I
Period.
that, but I don't want to see a pot belly dude with a 5-inch dick in porn. I don't.
Now that's different. Now that's different.
And I
That's different. Because I'm gonna tell you
see
what make me cringe: the couples.
little boys in porn. That shit grosses me out
Yeah.
because I'm not a pedophile. Like I just I don't wanna like I don't like and as a female who's kind of desensitized to porn, like I watch weird shit.
Hmm.
Um I can't even like especially since I know a lot of people in the industry now, like
Yeah.
I don't let my friends fuck. Like I don't. So I'm
Yeah.
like, looking at like foreign stuff and I'm looking at like anime shit and like tentacle porn and crazy kind of stuff if
Oh
I'm
man.
and most of my attraction to porn is audio. So it's
Hmm.
got the right sound, and a lot of these girls, I'm sorry, but they sound weird. I don't know what they think they're doing,
Hmm.
but it's working for me. Luckily, I'm not the target audience because
Yeah.
the entire industry would go broke right now.
But see, I think what it is it goes back to becoming and being a sex symbol. Now, despite the fact that you are a femdom and do fetish, I ain't gonna say betray yourself. You hold yourself as a sex symbol. even from the pictures that I seen, the outfits that you wear, the way you carry yourself.
Well,
You
look
know
at
what I'm
Greek,
saying?
look at Greek statues. Do the goddesses wear, are they like nuns? No, they're fucking draped in like a shawl and their
Yeah.
titties are hanging out. Like that's the imagery of a goddess. A imagery of a goddess is a sexual being above
Mm-hmm.
moral comprehension, above your ability to reach. Readily wanted, rarely acquired. That has been my life model since I popped out my mom. All right. I was so done with the world, I was stillborn. I went
Mm-hmm.
and then they revived me, and then I went failure to thrive again. Death is an old friend of mine. I was done with this world before even started. Bright light, nope, I'm back to bed. So I've always had myself on that elevated status, and I'm also hyper aware of people who want to use me, and people see my physique, and that's all they see. It's very hard to be seen for me.
And see,
So,
this is why I do these podcasts. Because, like you, if you can't mentally stimulate me, it ain't worth the fuck.
are you stimulating?
That's just me. That's just me. Because to me, the sexiest thing on a woman is not her butt, not her tits, not her ass. It's her brain. Give me an 8 or a 7 with a brain. You can keep that dime that's a dummy. I don't want her.
The dummy down.
Because even to the point, like this, how I look at it. If let's say me and you dating, as life grows on, sex dies down, whether it's kids, jobs, or what have you. So what do you keep the
I don't want
relationship?
that reality. I don't want
Say
that.
what?
That
Yeah.
I
No,
I don't.
go ahead.
You can just throw that reality right in the trash can. I don't want that. That happens. I'm
but but
not.
but still, but what keeps a man attracted to a woman, and what keeps a woman attracted to the man throughout the years, no matter how much he changes, is
Well,
that
if
mental.
I know that, yeah, I'm having a loose pussy then, because I'm pretty sure the grip has something to do with it.
Oh, don't get it twisted. We want a girl that can fuck the shit out of us, but
But
we
here's
don't
the
want that to be the only thing, though.
men sex drives. Like I feel like when men meet women with like active sex drives, like they get scared or like they get deflated and defeated really easily, and that's kind of like what kills it. Because I've run into that. I've had friends who had run into that where like us wanting sex all the time, it kind of fucks y'all's brains up, and then you shut down, your dick stop working, and it like I I I've run into this problem before,
Mm.
and it's just like at the same time, like there's certain times where maybe I don't want sex, whatever. Like for
I think what it is with men, because me as a man, and maybe 'cause like I said, I always walk to a different path. You know what I'm saying? To a different drum beat as you want per se. And to me, I'm the opposite of them dudes. A girl that had a
every
high sex drive, I'd have dated them. Shit, I enjoyed it.
well,
Period. Like if you go ahead.
so like everyone says that until they get it. And the simplest way to put it, and this is a quote from something, and I don't remember what's, but it's like, I don't have a problem with you fucking me, but I do have a problem with you not fucking me.
Mm,
Time is a very valuable thing to me, and if I'm giving some of mine to you,
I
like,
want it back.
like, and I think guys get caught up on a lot of things. Like they think it has to last a long time. No, no,
Mm,
I would rather have, like 5 15s than like 1 2 hour. Like
yeah.
first of all, I'm gonna run out of shit to do. I'm gonna be sitting there like, I've done all the things I know how to do now. You know?
Mhm.
But I think
Yeah, because to me, you don't need 20 minutes for sex to be intense. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And you don't need 20 minutes for it to be good neither.
right,
Period. But
yeah,
see,
no,
that's in our heads. See, a lot
yeah,
of times guys get in our own heads. Just like if they meet a girl, you hear a dude talk about, damn, I wish I had a girl that wanted to fuck all the time. But yeah,
no,
when he gets her,
you know how
he
much
can't
effort
handle it.
that is. You don't want that. You better hope that she likes your personality and
Yeah.
likes things aside from fun. Because if the only thing gluing y'all together is that sticky between the sheets, first of all, men are not physically capable of you've only got so many rounds in you. I'm sorry, you
Yeah.
do. I, you know, girls, we're holes, like we're not gonna
Yeah.
get as easily.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like we're the pocket pussies. We're not gonna get worn out. Y'all are the ones that are kind of like on a time clock. So like, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I've found that, and I've had friends that have found that when
Mhm.
guys get girls with high sex drives, because I have a high sex drive, and you know, there's not a day that I wake up that I'm like, hope I don't have sex today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I even go for it. I knew I had a sex drive even from when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I masturbated a lot.
See,
And
I didn't, but I started having the sensation very young, like
yeah.
very young, and apparently that's normal according to my
Mhm.
pediatrician. It's very normal
Yeah.
for kids to actually start having sensations as young as
Mhm.
5 years old. But I never really masturbated until I wasn't being sexually stimulated from my partner. And then I was
Mhm.
like, well, let me give this a try. Like, I never wanted to do this because, like, I didn't know how, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was a full ass adult in my mid 20s the first time I ever masturbated.
Mhm.
And I was like, holy shit, I can squirt. I can come. I didn't know I could do that because, like, he wasn't fucking me right. And, like, for a long time, I was like, fuck, but, the guy before him, I never came with him either. Maybe it's me. Maybe my only way to do this is with toys.
Mhm.
And I kind of went through like this like sexual adventure to where
Mhm.
now I know it wasn't me.
Yeah. No, because I tell anybody this: you have to have a tentative lover. Men have to read the room when they're with a woman.
Mm,
And a lot of times, men, once again, you get them dudes that it's all about their nut. It's not
yep,
about her nut.
yep.
Period. Me, I always been that way. I'm not just saying this shit because I'm on the show trying to brag. No, I've always been this way. I get off when she gets off. I like seeing her come. Period. Even if I come first, what drink came yet? Back up. Let's go. Period.
Like,
Because to me, I want her to feel that same euphoria that I'm feeling. I want her to have the same experience as me. Period. And a lot of guys don't pay attention to the woman when they're having sex because they could hit the spot and don't realize they're hitting it, and then they just move slightly and they lose it.
See, to me, that's not even a necessary thing, even though I don't have like a long sexual history or anything. But it might be because of that. It might be because of the decade of dissatisfaction. Dissat-
Mm,
ugh, I can't talk. Dissatisfied sex that I'm just like, if I'm enjoying my time with you, reaching
mm.
that climax isn't always necessary.
Well, of
Honestly,
course, of
like
course.
when I get close to that point, I kind of want to throw you against the wall and just like throw you off of me because I'm like, ah. So,
He be stuck against the wall talking about some dad. What did I do?
you have a lot as a female when you get to that point. Like you're like kind of like, and it's a lot of, I don't know, like feelings and emotions like all at
Mhm.
once when that happens, and it's different from
La
doing it.
petite le mur. Damn, I got to say it right. La petite le mur. Amour. La petite la amour. I think I said it right. Little death. That's what they call an orgasm. Shakespeare said that.
Oh, did he? I
Yeah,
don't
he
know what
said that.
I don't know what it is, but like it's not exactly painful, but it's not. And like for women, it can happen to us multiple times during a single session.
Mm-hmm.
And having recently experienced that, I'm like halfway through, I was like, "Oh, I don't know how much more of this I can take. This is zapping a lot." I was so tired afterwards. I slept like night. And it was interesting because I was like, I can do this. This is happening. Joy. It was really cool actually. Like night for me because I was like all over the place in my mind. But getting I think we got kind of off track there. We started talking about, like, stuff. We're talking about the industry and the male talent in it, but yeah, they just
Yeah. Yeah, because like I asked the question for ladies. I always ask this: if a male talent hit you up, what he need to bring to the table to work with you? And the reason why I ask that so guys can understand how to approach these ladies when
Okay,
they're
yeah.
trying to work with them.
I'm glad you asked that. Do not, if you're approaching me, understand what my brand is and if you're willing to do my brands. Because I'm not going to do your brand. I'm not doing boy girl. And I'm not doing off camera boy girl. Showing up to film with me and expecting me to fuck you is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
But she
Unless,
will ball your ass up though.
huh?
She will ball your ass up though.
No, it's just, so, okay. So when a male talent from the talent pool for boy girl approaches me, the first thing they say is, "Do you film BG?" When it's all over my profile what I do. It's a stupid
Mm-hmm.
question. Start there. Secondly, even after I explain that I don't do that, they just push
Mm-hmm.
and will say they get creepy at certain points. And it's
Yeah.
like, work with you. Now I don't feel comfortable even sitting on your face because I don't need you
Mm-hmm.
trying to like stick your tongue up my shit. I double panty anyways. You're not getting through nothing. You're gonna be tasting, soft soap. Um,
I just think they just want to fuck you. That's what it really is, to be honest with
yeah,
you,
yeah. And
babe. It ain't about the scene.
a lot of people, there's a lot of fanboys masquerading as, talent right now. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been approached by, super established male talent, newer talent, and like I can say this that the male talent's level of establishment in the industry has nothing to do with how they're going to work with you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of them are great, you know, some of them are really, really great and really respectful and super professional. And then the rest are just kind of trash,
Yeah.
you
Because
know.
to me, even when I contact the girls, I
hmm
paid attention. If she's a straight up dom, and then I look at her feed, and if I don't see much boy girl, I really don't bother her.
I question people who
Unless,
search. If you're a porn talent, I'm going to watch your films and I'm going
yeah,
to see someone, even if it's not the same content that we're filming. I want to see what your on-camera chemistry is with that model. I want to see the way you talk, the way you walk. Like it's going to tell me a lot about you. Like I can read body language very well, and I can get to know you without ever having to speak to you. So I do research before I work with anyone. First of all, I'm going to have to give you my ID. I'm going to have to
and Social
sign.
Security.
Oh, yeah, I don't put my Social Security on that form. They can fuck right off. I'm doing that.
And see, I will tell you that what irks me about these sites because it used to be a time where we didn't have to give all of that, especially of our co-stars. You
Right. No,
feel me?
that's enough to commit fraud on my name. We're not doing that. And when you're doing
And,
content,
and let's not forget they can sell that to the motherfucking advertisers, and you getting a bunch of phone calls and emails from spam.
oh yeah, you piss me off. Your number is for sure getting put on the Scientology call list. Absolutely. But and they can dox you and do all this crazy stuff. So, which I'm not really worried about doxing because if you show up to my house, I live in Florida and I own a vast collection of guns. So, um, show up. I've been waiting to use my
And
AI.
she wrestles because I want to get to the wrestling real quick.
Yeah.
How physical do your matches? How physical do your wrestling get?
So far, the biggest man I've ever flipped midair was 6'4", about 265 pounds. So I'm pretty strong, and they usually have to cut camera, not for me, but for the guys.
Nah,
I
I,
will
I,
go
I, if you ever get to meet this female dom by the name of Giselle Lane, ask her to tell you about her wrestling. Like she literally tells dudes, "No, come at me, bro. Don't pussyfoot me. Come at me."
that's
Because when people watch those wrestling, the wrestling videos, they actually want y'all to really actually get physical and wrestle.
right.
Not no pussy play, no none of that shit. Because even like my homegirl Julie Ginger, she does it. Period.
It depends on
And trust me, some of you girls can get
the
very physical.
So it just depends on the type of film that because there's different types of wrestling that you can do. So there's the jobber ones where they want to see me throw guys around like a rag doll, and then there's ones where they actually want to see displays of my physical strength. They want to see my arms bulging, my legs bulging. The thing that my legs are so thick that by the time I lock my ankles for a scissor hold, you're already struggling. Like I don't even have to apply pressure at that. Um,
Yeah, I can
but
tell you got
yeah, no, I find
eyes.
that when I film with grappling girls, the producer Joe, he's like, oh, with Mila, you can just go full force. I'm like, fuck you too, Joe. Maybe I'd want to, you know. But he tells me that he's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about hurting Mila. She's fine. She'll fuck your ass. It's so funny. But I have a natural core strength to me. I've got a good base from, like I said, years of like weight training, gymnastics, all kinds of stuff that I did throughout my youth, and my stamina is pretty decent. So yeah, no, the wrestling's a lot of fun, and I still do get like fetish clients that want the wrestling sometimes. Most of them want the fantasy, or like they don't even want real stuff. They just want to be put in a scissor hold because everybody wants the opportunity to fight Ronda Rousey, but she's not going to come to your front door.
No.
But you call Mila, and Mila will meet you up somewhere and put you in a, in your favorite holds, and you can pretend like you're actually fighting a WWE girl. So, and I think that's the allure to it. And from wrestling came the face sitting and like the steep face and all that stuff. Which that fetish, the wrestling fetish, that started in New York, if I remember correctly. Very fascinating. So they have a huge, huge base out there. When I go to New York, I am booked solid. There's no time for fun. Like my New York trips are not fun trips. They're
I had to believe it, cause New York is off the chain.
yeah.
Cause I remember me and my wife went up there, man. She stayed booked, and a lot of girls that went up there, just whether it was dominatrix or you was a straight up escort, you made money
Oh
and
yeah.
good money,
And
and they paid
it's
well.
crazy. It's like I know that a lot of women like do the anonymity thing, but like I have never had an issue, but I go and I tell the staff exactly who I am, what I'm doing, and what that I'm expecting company. Because
Hmm.
to me, that kind of sets up a security blanket. And I've never ever run into a situation where the staff was getting paid enough to give a shit and
Oh
like
yeah,
thoughts or anything like that. So that's really fascinating, especially with New York, man, because like during the pandemic, people were like calling on their neighbors for having six people over at their house.
hmm
Uh, But it was interesting uh, that I found, and it's been every state. I've gone to Texas, Arizona, Nevada, New York, Jersey. I've never ever had the hotel staff have an issue with me bringing clients there. Um, so and I like it. I like going in and being like, "Hi, I'm expecting company at this time, and this time." I don't have to give like the client's information or anything, but just to give them like a heads up if they see somebody wandering around in the lobby or something. And it protects me too, because then I have another person that has visuals on
yeah.
this
So
essentially.
anything happened to you, they know who came. Yeah, cause people don't realize in this side of business, it gets sketchy. It gets
Oh,
ugly sometimes.
just sketchy people in any business.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know who like my clients are not distinctly one type of person.
yeah.
I have a lot of people who, seeing a dominatrix is considered sketchy in itself. And it's crazy to me that like these guys can't actually work things like face sitting and wrestling into their private lives because to me that's not something that's too freaky.
Mm-mm.
You're
But see,
not.
it's about finding somebody that would do it to where they can get to the euphoria. Because, like I said, in our world, it's about the mental orgasm,
Mhm.
mental high. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that dude with you putting him in the scissor lock, he might be coming on his damn self because that's something he fantasizes about, or that's something that he's into.
But why can't you do
Period.
personal life? Like to me, asking a partner to do something I liked, like I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to do that. And especially something as simple as like face sitting, like,
Mm-hmm.
I think where they fall off, and this is where like fetish models fall off too with their content, where their content doesn't have the kind of oomph that it needs, is you cannot physically care. You have to act like you don't care. For me, it's easy because I actually don't care. Um, I don't care. You paid for this, dude. If you die, you die. Like that's not on me. You signed up for this. Like I no responsibility. So to me, it's not so hard to ask a girl to sit on your face. What's I think where my clients find difficulty is asking their partners to sit on their face and not care if they can't breathe. Because,
Yeah.
in a relationship, you care about people, all that mushy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where these girls fall off, and that's why I end up getting these clients who have girlfriends, they're married, whatever, and they'll come and pay to see me because I will sit on their face and not give a fuck. I will
And do
watch.
it right.
I text my
Right.
friend on the phone. My best friend is actually an award-winning dominatrix by the name of Goddess, and she recently had a book that won an award too on foot fetish. Um,
Nice.
yeah, no, she's super cool. Uh, I forgot where I was going with this because I was ranting about how cool my friend is.
This is what I love about podcasts. You can go on a different tangent, it don't even matter because the fans just enjoying the talk, the conversation.
I, I thought I had a reason for her, but now I just think I wanted to like talk about her.
But shoot, I know this much. We've been going for an hour, and if it wasn't for the fact that I had another interview to do, we would probably go for two. Because I really love talking to
I've
you.
had
But
interviews for 2 hours before. I'm used to it.
but I
Did you
want you to
have
come
like
back to the
ask
show.
her things that you for sure wanted to get out there?
Say it again, can you hear you?
Did you have any last questions you for sure wanted to get out there?
Oh no, I didn't get them all. Trust me, I didn't even get to half of them. But see, I like that because the conversation was so good, I didn't need to ask them.
I
Not
don't remember anything I've said up to this point, just so you know. I completely
but shoot, but to be honest, but actually you want to be honest, it fit the title. Bow down and acknowledge me. Because what we talked about the whole time, dominatrix stuff, fetish stuff, I didn't even get to the money topics, the ups and downs and all that. But we will the next time you come back on the show. So can I call you a smoke buddy?
Yeah, you can call me a smoke buddy.
Most definitely. So you heard it, people. She will be back. And wait till we get her in the premium smoke room. That's right, for $4.99 a month. I'm talking about 6 premium podcasts plus extra episodes. Plus, you get to hear Miss Milah Romanov really, really chop it up. Because the next time I bring her and I put in the premium smoke room, we really gonna really get down and dirty and really talk some serious heavy BDSM stuff. So with that being said, tell everybody what you can spend money on you, baby girl.
You can find me at MilahRomanoff.com. On Twitter, I'm at Milah Romanov. Instagram is at Milah_Romanoff because my first account got taken down. And in general, if you spell my name correctly and you put it in the Google search engine, you'll find me. I'm pretty Googleable.
Most definitely. And people, you know how we do this. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke is over. Thank you for coming, baby girl.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Hey, how you doing? Let me tell you about a great deal. Why don't you come on over to the premium smoke room? There ain't no smoke like premium smoke. I'm talking about 4 premium podcasts. I'm talking about Miss Spit Queen and the Porn Rap Star. I'm talking about Pilgrim on Wrestling. I'm talking about Causing Havoc with Princess Havoc, as well as the Read Daily Report. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 STO Dark. Plus also extra premium episodes for some of the hottest ladies and gents in the business of porn. And all this for $4.99 a month. I'm talking about 5 to 6 extra episodes a week on top of the free shit that you get. So do the math. Great deal. Only on Spotify, only on Anchor. Come check me out. Come catch this premium smoke.